What does middle class in America look like? It now varies across the country, and realtors in two very different parts of the nation have this to say.
Really, how much can you afford? So I think $200,000 being considered middle America or middle Maryland.
Anywhere between 60, 70, maybe even 80 if you want a nice house with some decent space.
Where you are and how much you earn now defines what's considered middle class, according to a study by GoBankingRates.com. You must earn the most to be considered middle class in Maryland, needing to rake in nearly $66,000 annually. Mississippi has the lowest household income to be considered middle class, where you need to pull in just over $35,000 a year. Oregon saw the biggest change in the last decade in what's considered middle class, with the income needed to be deemed middle class increasing by 53%. Alaska's middle class definition has seen the smallest increase. Brent Never is the Associate Dean for Budget and Finance at the University of Missouri-Kansas City. He says when it takes more income to become middle class, fewer Americans will consider themselves that way.
When you think about what the middle class means conceptually, it means being able to do things like own your home, send your kids to college, be able to invest in your retirement.
Pew Research shows over the past 50 years, the American middle class has shrunk from 61% to 51%. Never says the lower middle class is facing serious struggles.
These are the folks, and I'm one of them, who have been able to strive and grow in their income. And you think about the fact that that is becoming harder to attain in a lot of these communities. And when people feel like they're locked out of that upward mobility, it creates a lot of problems.
Both Kallmeyer and Hutchinson say they are seeing the effects firsthand in the housing market.
What you could get for $250, which would be a good price for a starter home 8 years ago, would cost you probably $350.
We have the haves and have-nots, the lows and the highs. And when I first saw that statistic that middle class is considered 200,000, I didn't believe it myself. But then I look at statistics every day. And statistics to me always lead back to real estate. But it's absolutely true.
Economist Marcus Schneider with the University of Denver points to home ownership as the primary reason behind the gap.
One of the big dividers between sort of the middle class and people below the middle class trying to enter it, again, is home ownership. And what outpaced wage gains were rents.
Schneider says he believes the answer lies with the people.
So really, it's a policy shift that needs to happen. A lot of cities are addressing that. And in some ways, that means that the most direct action might be to get involved.
GoBankingRate.com suggests using your bank's mobile app, which tends to offer specific ways to save. The website says third-party spending apps are also a good way to save. And finally, take advantage of your bank's auto-save features. Dan Grossman, Scripps News.